Hey everybody, this is Ryan. Let me show you some really cool chord substitutions that you can use instead of bar chords for the key of E, and let me show you two strum patterns that you can use for the chorus of this song and other songs. It looks like this. I've made some real big mistakes, but you make the worst one look fine. I should have known it was strange. You only come out at night. I used to think. So, a lot of great benefits to learning all of that. It's always helpful to have more than one strum pattern, and learning these chords gives you more tools in your tool belt for when you're in the key of E, and you don't have to play bar chords the entire time, which is super cool. So let's start. We're going to look at this first chord, which I'm calling an F sharp minor 11. It's a fancy name, but basically what it is just instead of your F sharp minor bar chord, which we would play like this, you're just going to take this first finger here and you're going to move it to the 3rd fret on the G string right there. And then you're going to let these two strings ring open, your high E and your B string. Now, if you have bigger hands, you can wrap your thumb around and mute the low E string. If you don't have bigger hands, then you can take your ring finger and you can kind of just nudge it so that way it's lightly touching the low E string like this, and it should sound like this. So let's try this one string at a time together. Let's do it again. Here we go. One more time. Here we go. Now the next chord is called a B sus4, and all you're going to do is take these two fingers right here and you're going to move them down a string, and then you're going to take this finger and move it up 2 strings. So it's actually the inverse of what this one looks like. And it's going to be the same thing where you're going to have the B and the high E string ring open. And this is a really great chord to know because it's also the basis for power chords, which is used in a lot of rock and roll songs too. So the hardest thing about this chord is going to be muting the low E string. So again, if you have bigger hands, you can try this, but I don't really like doing it that way because then I can very easily mute this high E string. So what I will often do instead, and you can see my thumb placement is over here, your thumb placement may vary, but it's the same thing where you kind of want to nudge the finger so you're muting this low E string. So this is the B sus4. And then after that, we're going to go to E. And then we're going to go to the G sharp 7, which was a chord that we went over earlier in the last video. So same thing where we're going to have first finger 5th fret on the low E, mute the A string, middle finger 5th fret on the D, ring finger 6th fret on the G, and then your first finger is the one that's lightly muting these strings here. And you do that by putting your finger on the pad rather than on the tip. So those are the 4 chords that we're going to look at that are just great to know. Now, let's practice switching from the F sharp minor to the B. Like this. And just do it at your own pace, whatever's comfortable for you. To me now, actually, the F sharp minor is the easier chord of these two for me to play. Just a few more seconds. And now let's go to E. So now we go from the B chord to the E. And let's just practice this going back and forth from the B sus4 to the E, because this is a chord change that you'll find in a lot of songs that are in the key of E. So it's useful to go ahead and get this chord change down. And now we've already worked on this in the first video, but we're going to go from E to the G sharp 7. So again, at your own pace. And make sure that when you go to the G sharp 7, you try your best to mute all of the strings except for the ones that you're fretting. At your own pace, whatever's comfortable for you. One more time. On the E. So now that we've really worked on these chords, let's try doing the strum pattern with them. So of all of these, the strum pattern, the first one that I showed you, that's just down strums, it looks like this. So we're going to do this on the F sharp minor 11. What it is the first strum, the first down strum, you go through all the strings. And then the second down strum, it's like a baby strum. You're like going through maybe these 3 strings at most. And it kind of acts as more of like a percussive element rather than like actually a part of the strum pattern, even though it still is a part of the strum pattern. Let's do it just a little bit more. Okay. And now let's do the same chord, but this time let's work on the strum pattern that's written. So that goes like this. Down, 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 up, 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 down, up, down, up. And we're going to take it about that fast. I call this one the Good Life strum pattern because it's a strum pattern that I think fits really well with that song. But let's go ahead and practice it. So 1 and 2 and ready. Here we go. Now down, 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 up, 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 down, up. Let's do it again. Down, 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 up, 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 down, up again. Last time. Okay, so that is the Good Life strum pattern. Now what we'll do is let's just practice going from F sharp minor to B sus4 using whichever strum pattern you want to use at the same tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, down, down to B sus4. And let's go back to the F sharp minor 11 right here. My bad. To B sus4. Do it again. And give yourself as much time as you need to switch to the chord. Like on the 4th beat, you know, you can do something like that. Or on the and of 4. My bad. To the B sus4. On the F sharp minor 11. So something that I also habitually do with these 2 chords is I will use my middle finger to lightly touch the low E. I'm not fretting it, I'm just lightly touching it. Like that. And that's another way too that you can mute this, is you can have this middle finger just kind of hover over the string like that. Now, looking at the rest of the chord changes, I don't know that there's anything else I really need to go over, but just going to skim through here just to make sure that we're good. E to G7 is something that we've practiced. G7 to A, you can do whichever A you prefer. It could be this one. 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 There's lots of different ways to play the A chord. And then A minor, that's one that we know. And then we have the E to G7 chord transition, and then the G7 or G sharp 7 to A transition again. So these are basically the first two chords are the new chord changes that we're going over in this song. So this is the tutorial for the chorus, and I'll see y'all in the practice video.